What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Business and Travel Podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Dean, and this is part two of our session with Shira Levy Barkan, the Chief Marketing Officer of Microsoft Central Eastern Europe. In this episode, we finish off the topic of relationship marketing and the concepts around community engagement and then the management around your clients. So honestly, this is a pretty self-explanatory finale to this session. Shira goes into a lot of detail and drops some really good knowledge. So make sure you pay attention, take some notes. This podcast is brought to you by Social Growth Media, where all your digital solutions are in the one place. So if you'd like to check out that business, the one that I run, it is www.socialgrowthmedia.com/resources. You can pick yourself up some free advertising and marketing helpful tips, ebooks, downloads, guides, cheat sheets, you name it. It's all there. So check those out if you are interested. But without any further ado, I'm just going to jump straight into this part 2 of 2 episode with Shira Levy Barkan, the Chief Marketing Officer of Microsoft Central Europe, dropping some knowledge on relationship marketing, and I really hope this helps as much as it helped me and the group. Just to recap why we're on this particular episode, if you're just tuning in now, it was a group of entrepreneurs flown over from Australia to Tel Aviv, Israel to check out the tech ecosystem. I was one of the 5 businesses flown over. There's a partnership between the Australian government, the Hacker Exchange, SOSA, and a bunch of people behind the scenes that made this one happen and get us into this room. So I hope you get a lot out of it. We certainly did. Let's jump straight into it.
So how does it work? So relationship marketing execution have 3 components. It has content infrastructure. Content is key, guys. It's very important. When I say content can be an ebook. It can be a photo, it can be a video, it can be a slogan, it can be a customer advocacy, whatever, okay? But it's a relevant content to the customer. You need to have community engagement and you need to have management. You need to manage it, okay? It's not something that is, creative. So I'll give you an example how we do the content infrastructure. We have a lot of content sources. So we have the product marketing who gives us a very usually boring content, but very important for our customers because it's very framed and technical and stuff like that. We have the central marketing, which is my team, that we take this content and we usually wrap it and make it a little bit sexier as much as we can, okay? We're selling like clouds and stuff like that. We have the segments who gives us the difference between if it's an enterprise customer and if it's an SMB customers, which is different with their needs. We have the influencers. The influencers are the people who really affect the industry. Usually, if you, and I'll show this as our MVPs, are the people that are engaged, sometimes with pay, sometimes without pay, but they are giving content themselves, okay? If it's content marketing or product placement. We have the customers themselves to create content, which is the best thing that can happen. And of course, in Microsoft, we have our partners that are really want to give their content because then usually the lead is going to them. And we have a lot of assets that are an infrastructure for the content. There's the owned one, which are the web and the mobile and the blog and the Facebook page. Those are all engines to create relationship marketing. Social, email. We have the earned, the ones that we're earning and we're working for, which are the communities and the blogs. And we also have the paid ones, which is editorials. Do you know about Outbrain or Tabula? Have you met with one of them?
No, we didn't meet them.
By the way, they're very big in Australia.
Yeah, it's all the, when you read an article and then the bottom it says these articles you might be interested in.
Yeah.
That's
Outbrain. Yeah, and usually it doesn't cost a lot. but it gives a lot of valuable content, and it's a great top of the funnel. And also about content creation. Usually I recommend to have it in-house, okay? Someone who actually will write the content because they know the product the best. But you can also outsource it and always think about recycling, okay? Be green with your content. So you can take a content and you can take a video and make an ebook out of it and make a slogan out of it. Like, try to form it across the board. Don't take a video and put it on social, on Instagram, on emails. Don't take the same content and spread it all across your channels. Try to make it relevant for the channel and for the audience with a little twist, and we can take a video and have 15 versions of it, okay? So think about it that way. Never just spam your channels. And how do we manage it? So we manage it by engagement scenarios. For example, for the reach, for the engagement, for the adoption. So if I'm taking a video, I'm doing the different kind of a video for someone who I meet for the first time, for someone who I meet for the second time, for someone who already is a customer, and for someone who's already a loyal customer, right? I do a different kind of videos, but it might be on the same product, okay? In our case, we do it by career stage. So when I sell Windows to students and when I sell Windows to CIOs of enterprise, it's a different kind of a pitch that I'm doing for that. And we always think about how to establish the relationship. So I always think when I have a piece of content, what is the next piece of content that I'm having, okay? To try to keep them within my ecosystem, right? Think about it that you live in a world, okay, of content, of value. You need to keep your people within this world, not to spill them out. It's like a website, right? You don't want them to get out of your website. You want to keep them in. So always increase engagement and preference for your product. So what is the next content that I'm creating? Always on connection. We have our monthly content metrics that actually said what we're doing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and we have seasonality and stuff like that. It's prepared a month before. We think about it. You can change it along the way, but you need to have it framed, okay? And you need to evolve over time, okay? You need to bring innovation there. You need to do planning. You build your content metrics and your flow chart and your editorial calendar. It's very, very important. You need to know what technologies you're using. You can have the one that you're using, paid, not paid. Like, love retargeting because you can bring them back, but be very, very careful about retargeting. So I don't know if anyone was engaged or looking for example, for a wedding dress on Facebook, and like the ads are haunting you even when you have your third kid, still with your wedding dress. So try to make it very, not to nag people. You need to give them value, okay? Think about them, not about you. And CRM and measurement, all right? How many impressions do you know? How many known impressions do you know? Which is actually the email of the customers. How many downloads did we have? How many times did they been on site? What is the conversion? How many wins are there, okay? And you need to understand that it takes time to build this, okay? And you need to be very patient about it. It never succeeds in the beginning, okay? But you need to be in kind of a beta mode. The thing about that, about relationship marketing, that it never ends. And there's no big wins ever. But it's an ongoing thing all the time. And you need to understand it, love it, and make sure that you measure that. I'll give you an example of what we do with our CIO. So meet Gad, mate, he's 59, and he's an engineer who lives in Ra'anana. He has 5 kids, he loves wine, and he loves cats. He's a senior IT manager. He specializes on database management and risk assessment, works 15 years in Amdocs, which is one of the biggest ISVs in Israel. Okay, not a very cool customer, but you know, he pays a lot of dollars for us, so we need to make sure. So how do we reach it? We have an online newsletter with all the updates and innovation of Microsoft product and services, okay? Also, all our Microsoft and partners community events, okay? So he can always come, and this is the next thing, right? You have a newsletter, but there's also something to do, and there are also downloads and invites, and we have, by the way, smart newsletters. So if we see that he's interested in database, the next newsletter he will get, the database subject will be in the front, okay? You have those platforms that you... What?
Is that a Microsoft platform?
No, not at all. It's not, I don't remember what's the name, but it's not a Microsoft. It's kind of a very common thing. We have, of course, our Facebook, and what we're actually doing in Facebook is we have a lot of free webinars and videos there. So we don't put them on the newsletter. We usually put them more in Facebook because they're live and they're more engaging and they're more relevant for this platform. We have the community blog. It's in Hebrew, so you don't see that, but it's the developers community and the IT community. By the way, the people who are managing the community are people who are not working for Microsoft. They're doing it for free. Usually they're partners, so they have an interest in that, or they are people who want to develop in this industry. Okay, so they take ownership on that. It's a very interactive platform. It has more than 200 blogs with a lot of people coming in and engaging with this platform according to the topic that they're interested in. Engagement, we have the Mtc Management Briefing, which is a room that we actually share our innovation. We invite companies there, like the Amdocs company, and they are giving us challenges brief, and we are giving them the solution. So it's a very nice thinking together kind of a project, which eventually we are not presenting just the Microsoft solution, we present all solutions, but we are like their counselor. We're becoming from a provider into a counselor, and it's created a lot of trust there.
Do you work with the Amdocs innovation team? We went to visit them last week.
I guess that the R&D are probably working very, very closely with them.
Because they did some similar things around working with their partners to solve.
This is usually very relevant for enterprise customers. We have, of course, a lot of IT Pro events, which are more about innovation and even more about mingling. At the beginning, those events were very professional. People came to learn, and it was very, very long, 8 hours with a lot of session. In the meantime, you see that people are looking for more of the social element. So we actually make the sessions shorter, and we make the mingling part longer, because people are looking for a community. And we have 2 to 3 events per month, from 50 to 1,000 people, and it's usually led or by our team, or by partners team, or by the community team, okay? We have Tech Day seminars, which is an exclusive event that people are actually sitting together. They're not Microsoft. Microsoft is throwing a problem at them, and they're trying to solve that. And this is where we see where we have bugs in our products, by the way, or where we can actually do more out of the products, or how can we sell them better to our customers, okay? Because usually our customers thinking different about us. They have a different point of view. This is where we see the different point of view. And we have a lot of customer advocacy there. So this is where we bring our customers to talk about their problem and about their solutions. And of course, we have user groups. I already talked to you about it. This is a monthly meeting for very heavy users, and this is led by the community for the community. And of course, we have forums, and this is a very nice thing. We have a Microsoft Virtual Academy, online courses that they can learn everything for free or sometimes for money, different kind of levels, which is relevant for different kind of segments, with live adoptions, and it's VOD, so you can consume it whenever you want.
What kind of price points would you have for the paid content on something like that?
I'm sorry?
What kind of price points would your paid content be for a virtual academy?
Well, it depends, because now there's a lot of academies. I don't know if you know, a lot of academies. So we started at the beginning because we were the only university. We can even charge $100 for that, okay? But now we charge between, depends on the course, but between $9.99 to $59.99. And they can even earn points and get, so if they, for example, see like 7 for free, they get points and then they can use it for money. And adoption, we have a lot of downloads that we give them for free. So we give them 1 month free on Azure, 1 month free on Office 365. Like, we give them the things for free. We want them to download it. Once they download it, we actually know that they're very much engaged. Usually then, because it's very technical, someone pick up the phone and say, I saw that you downloaded this. I want to know if you're happy, blah, blah, blah. And loyalty, those are the most loyal people that we have. Those are the MVP program that they have, most valuable professionals. Those are the rock stars, okay, of the IT community. Those people are not being paid by Microsoft. They're not allowed. By the way, they can be MVP for other companies. They can be for Google and they can be for Amazon because they're like the masters of their field. But what we're doing for them, we're actually making them a rock star. So we're shipping them to all our big events. We're paying for their travel. We invite them for the events and they get a lot of recognition. So think about it. Sometimes the value is the recognition and not the pay. Okay? Just think about it.
Can you not pay them or you just choose not to as well?
We're not paying them. This is, and they actually don't want to be paid because they want to be objective.
Yep.
Okay? They want to work with the whole community. So, key takeaways. Relationship marketing. Lifecycle management. What's the content? What is the community? And how are you managing that? How do you create value, okay, for your audience? And always think, is this content creating value or is just something that they already know, okay? You can wrap it differently, okay? But think about it. And value is not always cheaper, it's not always faster, it's not always, it can be a lot of stuff, okay? It can be fun, it can be great pictures, it can be connection to other people. Think about it. Value is something that is very important. You need to think about a long-term commitment for a relationship. This is not something that you start on. I don't know if you already have customers. Do you already have customers, some of you?
Some.
Okay, so think about them and start to create a deep relationship with them. Try to segment them a little bit, talk to them. Make it data-driven, so you'll have numbers that will help you know where to go. It's really hard to do that blindly, okay? And measurement is key, okay? So if you don't know the benchmarks, just guess, okay? But start somewhere, and then if you have a focal point, then you can, work around it. Make sure that you have the right content infrastructure, there's a lot of them, and that you have the sources that will create the content for you and how you do that. Make sure that the community is engaged to that content, and of course, management.
So there you go, guys. That is relationship marketing in a fairly in-depth format with Shira Levy Barkan, the Chief Marketing Officer of Microsoft Central Eastern Europe. I first of all want to give a big thank you to Shira for sharing that information in such a transparent and open format. It really is testament to the entire Israeli community of entrepreneurs that open source pretty much all the information that they know. And considering such a strong corporate background and working for arguably one of the most famous and biggest companies in the world, it's amazing to see how humble and just open and honest and transparent the information is that you shared. So thank you so much, Shira. Really, really appreciate it. The big things that I obviously got out of it was just the whole process of relationship marketing and Microsoft's approach to it. Just that having that long-term commitment to customers really, really helps. If you do think long-term, your customers aren't going to be doing any crazy things with you in those first initial stages. You want to nurture your customers. You want to take care of them because they become your biggest advocates over time. To the point where even nowadays with social growth media, we do such minimal marketing because so many of our clients are just spreading the message to their friends and family and all their associates. So when you do the right thing comes around. Make sure that you're campaigns are data driven, guys. You know, there's no point having an idea and just going off a hunch and trying to test it with intuition. Doesn't work. That's not how marketing works in this 2018 world that we live in. It is all about data. So make sure you measure the ROI, measure the return on investment. There are always ways to track every type of marketing strategy online. There's soft metrics, there's hard metrics, but there's so many things that you can use to track whether a campaign is successful or not. That concludes our 3-part episode with Shira Levy Barkan. I, again, thank you for the session there, Shira. In our next episode, guys, make sure you stay tuned. We've got a big one. It is with Erez Nevar from Facebook. He's the head of product at Facebook Israel, dropping 2 massive pieces of information for us in the group. Things that I implemented immediately the day after listening. So these are some points that you're really going to want to tune in and listen to. To make sure you don't miss it, make sure you subscribe to this podcast. Us out a lot in keeping it going and getting it out there to the world. Please leave a rating and review if you would be so kind. I'd appreciate it a lot, and I welcome any feedback. If you want to drop that feedback through to me, or if you have a question, hit me up on Instagram at JacksonDean1, and I'll be happy to get back to you personally there. But again, guys, next episode, big one. We've got Erez Nevar from the head of product at Facebook Israel. A really, really good one. Stay tuned. And again, guys, execution is everything. So now that you've heard from Shira the relationship marketing tactics, make sure you implement them, make sure you execute, ask any questions, and get out there and get the job done. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for your time.